We're back with another episode of the Fear and Broathing podcast. And notice I said brothing again and not loathing. And this episode is sponsored by Black Beans. That's right, Black Beans. There's no creatures
Specifically legumes.
Yeah, there's no creatures in these legumes. So that's such a stupid fucking joke. Anyway, that's we're nice segue into what we're talking about today, and that is the creature from the Black Lagoon. And what year was it? Like 1956 or something?
1954, I believe.
1954. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. I mean, honestly, for its time, it was shot really well. It's just not a lot happens in the movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of like so it starts off with this guy running towards, or this guy's like running towards this thing that he found, and he's like, hey, you gotta come here and check this out. And then like a bunch of people are following him. It's like, it's just this claw that's like sticking out from these like rocks, this rubble. And he's like, what do you think it could be? Or no, he said, what it is.
What it is, Doctor.
Yeah, he's like, what it is, doctor? And he's like, it looks like a claw of some sort. So they get it onto this like boat, and they start doing research on it, and they're like, it looks amphibious. And I love like this old timey like audio, because it's like, I don't know if people have really touched on it before, but like where they're like, oh, it's like, how do you describe it? It's
It's almost like they're talking through a can.
Yeah. It's like kind of muffled, and like it just sounds cool. And I kind of wish we kind of had it today. But you know, audio and film, it's advanced. So
Very much.
But I really like watching old stuff like this because the audio is just so different, and it kind of draws me in more. I can't explain it, and I love watching like old stuff like this, because it's it just has like that effect where I'm like, oh, their audio it just sounds cooler.
It adds like an atmosphere to it in a way.
Yeah.
I like watching these old movies because this is the roots of a lot of modern film, like The Creature of the Black Lagoon and Blob, were like roots of horror. Yeah. And it's just cool seeing where everything came from.
Yeah, and then you had like I don't think it's called The Mummy. I think it's like where you could just tell they were like wrapped in toilet paper, but like I mean, I still remember watching that those movies, like, because all of these movies had like different, like they were all parts of like a series of movies, and then they had like crossovers and stuff too. So it was really cool. It was just like a really cool time, and I'm sure it was dope to be alive during that. Imagine seeing Creature from the Black Lagoon in theaters. Like, you're like,
Oh yeah.
what to expect? Because they didn't even get The Exorcist yet. So you
Oh, I know. I'm like, imagine Blob. Like, because the newer ones are like pretty gory, but that beginning one, that first one, was still kind of freaky.
Yeah, I kind of like a horror movie where you don't really see what's happening. Like, you don't see the kill.
Yeah.
I mean, there's times where I want to see something that's gory and gross, and then there's times where I'm like, you know what, I kind of want some ambiguity here, and I want to see like the first Halloween, all the kills are off screen. Well, not all of them, but a good portion of them are off screen. Actually, maybe they all are off screen now that I think about it, because I'm thinking about Friday the 13th, where all the kills were on screen.
It might be because that movie was like pretty low budget.
Yeah. Yeah, I think most, if not all, of the kills in Halloween were off screen. And I think it added a lot to it. I think it added like mystery, because obviously Michael is like this like mysterious like entity where he's just like William Shatner.
Let's say we all know it's William Shatner.
Yeah.
Billy, is that you?
What are you doing here? Why are you peeking behind my hang laundry? What are you doing?
Beam me up, Scotty.
He does. He's like, oh shit.
Oh God. Oh, okay.
Well, there goes Michael Myers. Threat eliminated. But yeah, they find this. They find this claw, and then there's like this really long excavation scene, and I swear it goes on for like a good while. And then they're like, "Well, we found a bunch of rocks, and we can pave streets with these rocks." And that's like a really boring scene.
Oh, you're talking about whenever they go back, and then they're like digging up, trying to find the skeleton.
Yeah, they're trying to find the
okay.
rest of him. There's a lot of just like research scenes in this, and it's just, but it's not like I've seen more egregious length of research scenes and people doing a whole lot of fucking nothing in movies. There's a whole scene in Friday the 13th where this girl's making fucking popcorn. So like the whole time, like from beginning to end, she's making popcorn. Like that's a scene in the movie.
Ooh, scary.
Yeah,
is she gonna burn it?
It'd be funny if they were like, "Oh, do you hear it popping? Startling, isn't it?"
Take it out. Take it out. Take it out. The pops are too far apart. Take it out.
You're burning it. You're burning it.
For the love of God, just take it out.
Oh my God.
It's like on King of the Hill, Hank's watching somebody on TV grill. He's like, flip it, flip it, flip it, you're burning.
He's having nightmares about it. Shit. Tossing and turning. But yeah, we get that excavation scene, and then they go back to the lab. Like, they didn't find anything else. And then there's a lot of... so they're like... Oh, no, while they're still excavating, the guy who does not know how to read a room for shit, there's this guy who keeps telling jokes, and then nobody laughs at them. I kind of feel bad for the guy, but also the jokes are bad, because I didn't laugh at a single one either.
Me either.
He was like, the Black Lagoon is paradise, but nobody lives to talk about it. Which...
And then he fucking dies of laughter.
Yeah,
Everyone's
he's...
kind of like, ugh.
It's like, oh, this fucking guy again.
Capitan Lucas.
Yeah, Capitan Lucas. Who killed Capitan Alex? Yeah, the creature of the Black Lagoon... Or, sorry, not the creature. The Black Lagoon is apparently a paradise, which... this is a very weird thing that he says, is that he's like, oh yeah, it's a paradise, but nobody ever lives to see it. Then how the fuck do you know it's a paradise?
Exactly.
So
He's just passing by like, oh, cool.
He keeps going. I live to tell a tale. But
Because I've never actually gone in there.
Yeah.
Captain Lucas's pastime is just to scare alligators.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Horn.
He keeps honking his fucking horn, and he honks the horn, and this alligator runs away, and he goes. We thought he was gonna like crash into one. He just like.
Just veer off towards it. Like, oh, there's another one.
It's like those dickheads that like don't like animals or something. Like for some reason, there's people out there who are like, "Oh, cats are the worst," and they'll see a cat in the street and try to hit it. It's like,
yeah, I know.
It's like that.
Like
But
psychos.
yeah, I'd swing on one of those people. Black Lagoon. Let's see. I wrote down Black Lagoon as a paradise. Okay. So, yeah. And then they go and look for rocks because Lucas is like, yeah, let's go down there and get some rocks. Because they go to the lagoon, like, pretty quickly. Like, they're like, all right, well, we know where we need to go. We need to go to the Black Lagoon. So they go there. And then Lucas is like, yeah, we need to get some rocks. And he seemed really excited about rocks. So I don't know if that's the only rock that he's looking for. Because he's probably got some rocks on board, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's talking about eating the rocks and everything.
Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, I eat rocks.
I like to crack them open.
He's like, I like to crack them open. I was like, that's not even eating, dude. He's like, I gain knowledge from rocks by cracking them open. And you're like, that's
yeah.
It's like that's not eating them though. That's just cracking them open.
That poor
Um,
doctor's got a terrible crack addiction.
he's very into crack in things. Um, but yeah, so he's like, we gotta go into there and get some rocks. So Dave is one of the main characters. He's dating Kay. Kay is her name. Uh,
Oh, I
and
was looking at IMDb,
mhm.
and I was looking at the cast, and it's like Julia Adams as Kay as Julia Adams. It's like, what?
So she just played herself.
I guess so. I was like, that's very fucking confusing.
So yeah, so Dave is with Kay. They kind of don't explain this, but she kind of has some dialogue with Dave where she's like, "Mark is just upset that you're on this expedition," and I'm. It kind of hints at the fact that Mark and Kay had a thing at one point. They've worked together for a while, so now that Mark's on the expedition with him and they're like engaged to be married or not yet, they haven't said that yet, but like they were
Yeah, they
like,
kind of hinted at it earlier.
yeah, they were like, well, when you gonna pop the question or some shit like that, and
You know, speaking about that scene, I hated that scene. There was so much exposition in there that was not needed.
yeah.
Like, it was like, so the way they did it was like, hey, David, my old colleague, my old student. He's like, hey, my old teacher. He's like, hey, have you guys gotten married yet? And he's like, hey, not yet. Not after blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, I don't need this much backstory.
I just want to see the creature choke some fools out.
Yeah, exactly. The
I
fucking dweeb.
Yeah, dude, yeah. So this is the first glimpse we see of the creature is when they're digging for rocks, and you kind of see it kind of just stalking them. Like, it's not really doing much of anything. But we'll get more about him being a dweeb later, because honestly, it's pretty fucking funny. But so they go in, they get the rocks, and aren't they? I don't even think they notice the creature's presence at this point. It's just like kind of lurking around, right? So
Yeah, they don't even see because it's like hiding in the kelp and seaweed at the bottom.
we're getting a glimpse of the creature, but they have no idea yet. And then once they go they go back up to the boat, they're like, all right, let's look at these rocks. And then the captain gets really excited. He's like, fuck yeah, let's look at these rocks.
He pulls out a glass pipe. He's like, let's look at these rocks.
He's like, I've been waiting for this moment since we got here. He's been like fiending. He's been like itching for it. He's like, oh, I need it. And then they go downstairs. They kind of leave Kay up above with no. Isn't it just her by herself?
It's Kay and the captain. Kay, the captain. There's another doctor on board, and then Dr. Maya is the crackhead.
Okay.
So I think it's just Mark and David who go underwater.
I thought Lucas was the crackhead. They look similar. There's a lot of characters in here that look exactly the same.
Dr. Maya and Lucas look similar, and then Mark and David look damn near alike, except Mark is blonde.
And they're both
So-
named Richard.
Yeah, in real life they're both named Richard, which is equally as confusing.
So they go downstairs to look at these rocks, and then Kay decides to take a swim, and then this is where it gets funny, because while she's swimming around, the creature he's swimming underneath her at first. Like it takes him a while to catch up to him, and we were making jokes about like who would win in a race, Michael Phelps or the creature, but then we're like, nah, Michael Phelps would destroy the creature because the creature couldn't even catch up to Kay while she was swimming slowly.
Yeah, she was
So-
doing backstrokes, like going, like just leisurely swimming, and he's like, like trying to fucking catch up to her.
And so he's like looking at her body, and he's like, oh, if I only had that. And then he's like, he keeps going, he keeps swimming, just like Dory. He keeps swimming, and then he kind of like swims down because he's like, oh, I got too close. And then he'll swim up and like try to grab her ankle, and he'll like tickle it, but he's like tee, and then he'll like, and he's like pulling his hand away. He like keeps doing like that, and he's like, You know how like guys at Comic-Con will do like hover hands over people dressed like Psylocke. Uh, um Old X-Men reference. Maybe I'm a fucking dweeb.
I think we're both dweebs, but we don't hover hand.
Yeah, we don't hover hand, but like I don't know. I don't just like full on just like grab people either at like a convention or something. I'm not gonna be,
No.
but like
Around the shoulder. That's
yeah.
fine.
There's like a comfort level, and one of them is definitely. I feel like hover hands makes people uncomfortable as much as like full on grabbing them. Well, maybe not. I think hover hands is maybe like, oh, we can get this over with just because it's awkward. Whereas full on grab is like, don't fucking touch me ever
Yeah.
again. Yeah. So I immediately rescind what I was saying. But yeah, the creature is a total fucking dork. He's just like, oh.
And he goes up and goes to touch her. He's like, "Ugh." He's like, and he swims away.
He's like, oh, I touched her ankle. And then we find out later he has a little cave house, basically. So he probably just retreated back and was like, oh, if only I was half as hairy as the man up on the boat, I would be able to get a girl like her.
No girl likes nice sea creatures. I only want the mean sea creatures.
I mean, just wait, man. Your species will get its chance.
Yeah, somebody will love you.
There's
Probably,
the Shape of Water came out, and
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but that creature's old as fuck now.
yeah, it's been affectionately called Grinding Nemo, and that's one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my entire life. Like I love The Shape of Water. I think it's an amazing movie. I think it deserved Best Picture, but it was just like calling it Grinding Nemo is the funniest shit. Michael Shannon is fantastic in that movie. He's always fantastic though. If you guys haven't seen The Shape of Water, do that.
I haven't even seen it.
Oh, dude, so good. Hopefully we get it. There's a lot of really cool stuff that we can talk about.
That's M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong, right?
No, it's Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, that's why it's good.
You're thinking of Lady in the Water, and that movie is a fucking train wreck. It's got. How do you get Paul Giamatti and still make a dog shit movie? I don't understand. Oh, I mean, Big Fat Liar exists, so I guess.
Hey, Big Fat Liar is a cult classic, okay?
So is Agent Cody Banks. Anything with Frankie Muniz, dude, cult classic.
Anything that he remembers, at least.
Oh, actually, Malcolm in the Middle is fantastic.
I love Malcolm in the Middle so much.
From start to finish, it has one of the best casts of any one or single camera sitcoms ever. It's so goddamn good.
100%. My favorite scene from Malcolm in the Middle will always be whenever Malcolm wants to learn how to roller skate. And his dad comes home with all these sandwiches, and he's like super excited to eat them. He's like, "Oh god!" He's like, "Oh, just digging, boys, just digging." And then he's about to take a bite of his sandwich, and Malcolm's like, "I'd like to learn how to roller skate." And he turns, and as he's turning, the light goes out, except for one single spotlight down on him. He's like, "What did you say to me?" And he's like explaining how serious he's gonna be taking it. And then Malcolm's like, okay. He's like, well, good. And then the lights all come back on. He starts eating his sandwich.
Right, because everybody's like, so like Dewey and Reese. He's like, I want to learn how to skate, and then they're both like,
And then run off.
yeah. it's like I think I'm gonna get Dad to teach me how to do it. And they're like, they're like terrified, which is odd to me that Dewey knew how to do it before Malcolm.
I know.
It's like,
was it Dewey or was it what's the older brother's name?
Reese.
No, the older brother.
Oh yeah, it wasn't Dewey. It was Fuck.
What's his fucking name?
Francis.
Yeah, Francis.
Francis, yeah. He's like, yeah, it was Reese and Francis, and then Dewey's kind of stopped doing his own little thing because he was very little then.
But like 7.
Yeah, that kid like disappeared. Like he like nobody knows where the fuck to contact him. They've done like reunions for Malcolm in the Middle, and they were like, yeah, we couldn't even contact the guy who played Dewey. I think his name was like something Sullivan.
Eric.
Eric Per Sullivan or something like that. That's his name.
Dude, he looks exactly the same, just with longer hair.
Yeah, but yeah, apparently they weren't able to like get a hold of him for like, that's crazy to me. Like he just like fell off the grid. But everybody else came back, especially Heisenberg. Heisenberg came back for the Malcolm in the Middle reunion.
Of course he did. Bryan Cranston was the best in that.
Yeah, dude. I think that's when we like realized that Bryan Cranston was gonna be like a star, but we didn't really notice then, because whenever we were watching Malcolm in the Middle, we were kids, so we were just like, ha ha ha, funny show, it's funny.
Old man running around in his underwear.
He told his wife to shave his back in front of the children. This is silly. We digress.
I was about to say he really, like, whenever I saw Breaking Bad for the first time, I was like, oh shit, it's the dad. I can't remember his name now.
Hal.
Hal, yeah, it's Hal. And then I saw him, like, he's not goofy or anything. Like, oh, he's got some range.
Yeah, absolutely. He crushes it in both shows, obviously. But
Yeah.
Breaking Bad was obviously a breakout role.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
And then he was in like Godzilla and shit. But
Yeah.
we
They just can't make a good Godzilla movie.
Yeah. Speaking of lizards, I don't know if this amphibian. This guy's amphibious in the Creature of the Black Lagoon. He's not really a lizard. It's an amphibian.
He's got scales.
So
He's got some big fucking scales too. They're like at least 3 inches, and they just go down his body.
I think amphibious, and like reptiles are different based on like different like genetic makeup, though. Like,
Yeah, reptiles are cold blooded.
I think amphibians
aren't.
They aren't.
I don't think so.
I know
Let me
that.
Google it.
I don't think lizards have webbed feet, but I might be wrong there too. And I think they have different like breathing apparati. I don't. How do you say that? Maybe I'm wrong on all counts.
Oh, they are cold blooded. So are insects.
There's gonna be some. There's gonna be somebody eventually who's listening to this or watching this on YouTube. They'll be like, "Well, actually."
Actually,
I
just googled it. Amphibians are cold blooded. Same with insects.
And then reptiles are warm?
No, mammals are the only ones that are warm blooded.
Gotcha. Yeah. Makes sense. It'd be weird to have cold blood.
I know, constantly having to we'd all have like heat lamps in the house.
Well, I mean, if we had cold blood, would it make it easier for us to walk around in snow?
No.
Or would it be worse?
It'd be worse.
Yeah.
It would, because we'd die a lot faster. I believe. I'm no scientist, but I think.
You'd probably freeze to death a lot faster. That would make sense. Anyway.
Step outside and it's like 50 degrees, like, ooh. And then go straight into hypothermia.
Yeah. Well, that's a little chilly. And you're dead.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, it's a nice brisk breeze outside. And then you just fall over.
So once we find out the creature's a dweeb, and then and that he's afraid of women. There's luckily there's only one woman in this expedition, and he takes a liking to her even though he doesn't want to touch her. And then so the creature tries to swim up after So she gets back up, and then she's like, I just went for a swim. And then everybody's like, that's a stupid idea. Because it is.
That's a stupid idea. Come on, Mark. Let's go for a swim.
Yeah, exactly. And this is after they had already swam. But she's just
Yeah.
like, she's like just taking a leisure swim. And they're like, haha, you're a woman. That was stupid. And then, because, the 50s. So
Yeah.
they're like, ha ha ha, you could have been killed because you're a feeble little woman.
You're so dainty.
Yeah, and then so after they're talking, the boat starts to rock, and they're like, "What is happening?" And then the net is like tugging. So they think they caught something, which they did. The creature is caught in the net, but it breaks out of the net. So whenever they pull up the net, there's like a giant hole in it. So they're like, "What could have done that?" And they're like, well, "Maybe some rocks." I think the guy who was like, well, I wonder if it was rocks, because he's like on drugs. He's just like, I wonder if it was rocks. So we should go down there and get those rocks.
Yeah, maybe they got some like different kind of rocks here. Some Black Lagoon rocks.
It's like we should go down there and get they're pretty. They must be pretty big, and we need to go get them.
It can last us for a while. I mean, we could do a lot of research on them.
He's like, but before we do some research, cut a little piece off for me.
Just for tasting. No use, Doc. These are salt rocks. Damn it.
So, so they get they get this idea that they should go back into the water after a giant creature just destroyed their net. They're like, we got to bring these harpoons down, and we're gonna. Well, Mark wants to bring the harpoon down, and David's like, "Why are you gonna bring a harpoon? I just want photographic evidence of something down there." He's like, "Well, we need proof." Yeah, a picture is proof, especially in the 50s where Photoshop didn't fucking exist. So
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I get that people have been talking about the Loch Ness monster for a very long time, but come on, like if you get like a photo of something right in front of it, how you faking that shit? Like,
Yeah, exactly. Not something that's like, because the Loch Ness monster, it's everything is just black and white, and the monster is just this black like turd on the water.
it's a little floaty.
Little did we know, somebody just took a picture of their toilet.
I'm surprised this movie doesn't look like they filmed in a bathtub. They didn't.
I know. They I saw that they filmed in Florida.
Yeah, there's like a lake that is like pretty famous. I think it's like I don't remember what it was called because I'm not really looking it up. But bad research.
Well, don't be so hard on ourselves. We just watched the movie.
Oh, I mean, on my end, it's bad research. I feel like yeah, because I feel like you're looking into it more than I am, which is let me.
I just kind of like skimmed. I was going to the synopsis as I do, and I saw for a second that it was filmed in Florida and some part I don't remember.
Silver Springs, Florida, which were filmed by the second unit in Silver Springs, Florida. While filming underwater, Browning reportedly held his breath for up to 4 minutes at a time. That trumps me thinking like he was just down there the whole time. I was kind of hoping like they kind of give him like a breathing apparatus to be like, all right, you're gonna be there for days. And he's like, what? He's like, I didn't sign up for this shit.
Comes out, he's like, I'm all pruny.
It's like, this sucks. Just swimming fast or fighting, you use up a lot of oxygen and it cuts it down to at most 2 minutes. Yeah, there's like a whole scene where he was just like wrestling with both the guys, Dave and Mark, which was silly because it just looked like they were like having sex down there. Either that or they were like wrestling, but it was he was just like, oh, I just wanted somebody to wrestle with and also to kidnap the girl.
I'll wrestle you for her honor.
I will put you in a headlock and a full Nelson, and I'm gonna lick your nipples. I don't know. I don't know why.
Stop it! Stop licking my nipples! No, give me the girl.
Give me the girl. I quit. I quit.
You could take her.
She's like, what?
She was licking my nipples. It felt weird.
What do you think he's gonna do to me?
I don't know.
So
He's gonna put you on a rock.
they go under there, and this is their. So he's very shy around Kay, but he got right in their face whenever they came down with harpoons. He didn't even give a fuck that they had sharp weapons, and then he's just like coming at them, and then neither one of them get like hurt or anything by the creature at this point, but they're kind of just like, well, I mean, the creature gets shot, so he kind of like runs away with the harpoon still in his back, and it looks silly because it's like a rubber suit with a zipper in it, and you can see the zipper, but you also see like the harpoon like kind of sticking out, and it's just like it's pretty funny looking, but like it's the 50s, so you can you can definitely give it some leeway.
Slide.
Yeah, so you can give it some leeway because it's not gonna be like perfectly done. I kind of like this better than most CGI anyway, not to be like one of those guys, but I am one of those guys. I'm like, CGI kind of takes me out of the movie sometimes.
They just need to do it right, because a lot of the times, I'll watch like people make things on like Unreal Engine, which is free by the way, and it is like it's incredible. It's realistic. Like it's hard to distinguish it from like somebody being at a spot and actually filming.
Right.
And then these movies will use CGI, and since they're so crunched for time, they won't shade it right, they won't light it right. So a lot of times they just put it in the dark, and then or they'll like come out looking like The Rock and the Mummy.
in the Mummy Returns.
Yeah. So I love practical effects way more.
Was it the Mummy Returns or was it the third one? I think there was a third Mummy, wasn't there?
I think so. The Mummy Returns, the Mummy Returns again.
I think there's something about something. What was the third Mummy? Let me see. The Mummy trilogy. The Mummy trilogy. I think the third one is the one with The Rock in it. No, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. That's not the one I'm looking for. What
I think
are
that's the newest one, isn't it?
the Mummy franchise? The Mummy, the Mummy's Hand, the Mummy's Tomb. Nope, this is Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy. This is not what we're looking for. I am down to watch those, but
Me too.
especially Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy. That would be fucking great.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah, it is Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. That is the third one. 2008. It's got Brendan Fraser in it.
2008?
Yeah, 2008. What the fuck? It was The Mummy Returns. I was right. Because it has Dwayne Johnson, yeah, as the Scorpion King.
Huh.
Yep.
I always thought that came out in like 2002 or 2003.
It came out in 2001. The Mummy Returns did. The Mummy was 1999 with Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, or Wise. I don't know how to say her name. Somebody come at me in the comments about that. And then yeah, the first Mummy's great. Who played Imhotep?
Some bald dude.
Arnold Vosloo as High Priest Imhotep. Do you remember the Mummy series that they did on Kids WB for a while? Huh. Yeah, I used to watch it all the time because I used to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. I still watch Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. But there was a Mummy the animated series, and it was kind of good. Like that and like Static Shock, and just honestly, the Kids WB block used to be pretty fucking dope. Like it'd be like, oh, I wonder what's next. Static Shock, dope. It's like all new X-Men Evolutions coming up next. And you're like, oh my fucking god. And you're
See,
like,
I fucking loved Static Shock.
oh yeah, one of my favorite shows from my childhood for sure. And then they'd be like, "What's after Static Shock? None other than Jackie Chan Adventures. Get fucking ready." And you're like, "I'm so goddamn ready. I cannot wait." And then Jackie Chan Adventures, you're like, "What a great fucking episode. Nothing can top that episode." Well, yeah. We'll get ready for this next episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! And you're like, "Oh, dude, I hope he beats Merrick." And you're like, and you're just like,
I'm in kid heaven right now.
yeah, dude, if I could go back, I mean, if I could be alive right now and experience that block again, like we used to have friends come over and stay the night on Friday or vice versa, and we'd stay over there on Friday and be ready for those Saturday morning cartoons. And I know like Saturday morning cartoons is such like a tradition for so many households, but like, if it wasn't Kids WB at that point, like, you weren't watching the right goddamn cartoons. What are you gonna watch? The fucking Proud Family? Like, nobody's watching the Disney Channel right now. You know what? I mean, not to knock the Proud Family. I'm sure it was a great show, but if you're gonna watch the Proud Family over Yu-Gi-Oh, come on.
The Proud Family. I tried watching it. I think it was one of those that, like, I would watch in passing. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't like sit down and watch it and be like on it. And I'd
Or
be
like,
doing
what was
else.
the Barbarian show? The Dave the Barbarian.
uh,
If you're gonna watch Yu-Gi-Oh over Dave the Barbarian, fuck off. Like, all right,
Dave
I'm
the
sorry.
Barbarian was sick.
I'm sorry, if you're going to watch Dave the Barbarian over Yu-Gi-Oh! I said it backwards. If you watch Dave the Barbarian over Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, some Pokemon episodes, like, I would get it, I guess. Because, like, you don't want to really sit through filler. I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh! Only had a few episodes of filler in that early going. Like, the first two seasons of Yu-Gi-Oh! Especially, like, Battle City and, the Duelist Kingdom and stuff like that. Like, there's not a lot of filler. Maybe one or two episodes every once in a while, like Taya versus Mai, but like then you get like Yugi versus Mai, or like Joey versus Rex Raptor, or like something really cool, and you're like, this is fucking dope.
What sucks is that shows like that didn't really have much filler, but then you look at other. I'm just getting adjusted. Hang on. You look at other animes that have like a lot of notoriety, like Naruto. So you get towards the end, and that whole like last season is filler, and then you get to Shippuden, and they'll like have 5 episodes in the beginning that are pertain to the story, and then the rest of the season is just filler, and they'll do that for like the entire series.
I love the internet now because you could just like go to a website and be like, what's this anime like without filler, and then you could just like watch in order of where, like, okay, you could be like, all right, I just want to watch all the episodes that aren't filler, and you fucking can.
See, I'll just Google, like, I'll start watching, and then if I get to a filler episode, I'll be like, which ones aren't filler,
Yeah,
and then I'll just go based off of that, kind of like what you're saying.
yeah, and then you could just basically skip around on your own accord, because like, and then just be like, all right, I don't want to watch this episode, I don't want to watch this one, I don't want to watch this one. There's some anime lists where it's like, and I'm not a huge anime like fan, like I don't really care for the medium too much. Like, I get why it's there, I understand animes, but like when it comes to anime, like, it's just very hard for me to pick one that I want to watch, because I'm just like, I don't really care that much about the medium. Like, I've tried getting into it and being like I've selected certain ones. Like, I think Full Metal Alchemist was really great. I didn't finish.
Alchemist is good.
I didn't finish it, but I still need to do that. But and then I started watching like Tokyo Ghoul, and I was kind of into it for a while. Like, it's kind of gory. I like that. It's like a horror. It started out. That's what I thought it was going to be. It's like a horror anime, and I was like, okay, I'm down. And it's like, it's like creepy elements, but it's kind of just like a drama for the most part, where it's like,
Yeah.
and it's not to knock drama either. It's just like, I was expecting something and I got something completely different. Like, I wanted to be like, because like the first couple episodes, I was like, I was legitimately like nervous about the characters, and I was like, this is like terrifying, and this is like good horror, and you're like, I hope the rest of the series just freaks me the fuck out. And that's what I was like searching for, because that's what I look for in horror most of the time. I want to be scared, and a lot of horror doesn't do it for me. So I was like, maybe a cartoon will. Um, and like, because animation, you can do so much more with that medium,
Mm.
and like they kind of it kind of turned on its head like halfway through the first season, and I'm like, now it's like a mystery show with like a lot of drama in there too. It's just like, come on, man, I just want to
Yeah,
see
that's kind
people.
of the reason why I stopped too.
Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah, I watched like a good portion of the first season. I was like, this is kind of boring.
Yeah, I was, and there's probably gonna be some Tokyo Ghoul if anybody's listening. If you're a fan of the show, I at least want to know why we should keep going. If we, because like, and like obviously no spoilers if you want to tell us like why to keep going with Tokyo Ghoul, but like I enjoyed the first few episodes, and then after that I kind of got bored.
There's another show that's kind of like that. It's good. I really enjoyed it. I watched, I think all the way up until the newest episode is Attack on Titan. It's pretty goddamn gory because it's just all these titans. These like weird, creepy looking, uncanny.
Like big giants with like no skin, right? Isn't that like kind of what they are? They're like,
They've got skin, but they've just got these like weird faces.
mm,
Um, they eat people, so you'll see people just like get bitten in half and all this other shit.
okay,
It's kind of
that's
it's
cool.
nuts, but it's also got its drama elements. Something I don't like that a lot of animes do is that the protagonist, if they're a boy, is just like there's no problems with being emotional, but whenever your character is crying every 10 seconds, it kind of gets annoying.
Yeah,
Like even if it was a girl, like it doesn't matter like gender, but it's usually a boy for some reason.
yeah.
But they're just um, like they'll spend like 10 minutes just bawling their eyes out, and like this really dramatic music is playing. It's just like, come on. I just want to, I just want to watch people fight.
Yeah.
But like, there's not. I'm not saying there's a problem with them being emotional. It's just,
There's always Dragon Ball Z for that.
yeah. Well, I mean, they're pretty bad with fillers.
Yeah, that's true. I was watching that for a while too, but anyway, back to the topic at hand. So so the guy gets shot, or the creature gets shot, and then they go up into the boat again because they escaped him because they shot him and he ran away, and then so the creature's like, or the doctors are like in there like they're like the bottom level, the lower level of the cab, or whatever the fuck it's called, the boat. And then they're like, yeah, so I don't think we're ever going to see this creature again. And then the creature kind of just shows up. Like, as they're saying it, I thought that was hilarious. Like,
They're like, oh, there he is.
well, they didn't even look. They like, there's a lot of that in this movie where, like, the creature's just going to show up behind them. And it's like, it looks like it's breathing heavy as fuck. Because, like, the gills are kind of like,
He's always got his mouth open too.
yeah. Bo. She's like, especially whenever they catch him and he's just, like in that cage, he's like, "Buh, buh."
It just adds to the dweeb factor even more that he's a mouth breather.
Oh. He's like that kid from Hey Arnold. He's like, he sounds like a cat purring. He's like,
I, I'd assume he kind of sounds like my cat. Um, she's she's got like some like mucus in her nose, and
okay.
trying to get rid of it, like trying to do anything with that cat is really hard. She's got really sharp claws because she doesn't have teeth, so I think she focuses more on her claws.
Mm.
So she'll sit there and like bite at them to get them sharper, and like she'll really hone those bad boys. But you try to do anything with her, Like you can pet her and pick her up, she's fine. But if you try to like give her any medicine, try to mess with her ears, because she's got like really bad. They get gunked up really bad, so you got to clean them.
Have you tried?
Um,
Have you tried putting her on like a counter and then like grabbing her? This is what I used to do with Nugget whenever I was like giving her medicine or like Cheddar or something. Whenever, so like
Mhm.
I would like grab them. I'd put them on a counter. I would grab them like I'd wrap my arm around their like head, kind of like a chokehold, but obviously not like doing that. And then you like kind of cradle their chin, and then you tip it back with your hand, and then you put like like the syringe or whatever in like the side of their mouth and just drip very slowly. You drip the medicine down their throat.
No, we haven't tried that yet. We could definitely like the medicine we were trying to give her was a dewormer, but she was just like not taking it.
Yeah, a countertop, they can scratch the shit out of that all they want, man. Like I think I tried to give Nugget medicine once while she was on my lap. Never again.
Oh no, God
Like
no.
she fucked me up.
See,
Like
Ivy will do that too, but so she's got really bad mucus, so she'll sit there and like a little bit. She's also pretty fat, so that might add to
the
the heavy
wheezing.
breathing. Yeah. But I like to imagine that's what the creature sounds like. It's just her, just like when she plays, she'll go.
Lexi used to do that, where she would like play too hard and then she would just like pant for like 5 minutes or so. She'd be like,
That's what she does too. Snores really loud too.
yeah, Nugget's been snoring a lot more lately. But it's like adorable.
Nuggets,
It's adorable when she does it.
she's getting bigger. I think she's just letting herself go.
We gave her some wet food today, and she was like on that shit. She's like, oh. You can like hear her from the other room. You're like, she's like, you're like, what the fuck?
We have you seen those I don't know who makes them, but they're like these like it's like paste that
Oh, it's
they're
like it's like Go-Gurt almost.
yeah.
Yeah.
We give her some of that, and dude, it is gone. I'm not even kidding. In like 30 seconds, she just inhales it.
Does it smell fishy?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like Go-Gurt for cats. That's so cool. I heard it's like really expensive though.
it's hey babe, how much is that Go-Gurt cat treat stuff? Oh, we're just talking about it. He was saying it's expensive. Oh, well, she says it's not that expensive. I don't know who makes it. It's a name brand. I know that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Might have to go ahead and get some of that. We got some catnip for Nugget, and she like rolls around in it and shit. So that's pretty fun. She likes to.
Why do cats roll in it?
I don't know. Lexi would just eat it. Like she didn't. She just like devoured it, and then she'd be like, more. Like what? No, you're high enough.
Come on, man.
But Nugget,
Come on.
all the while, Nugget's like rolling around in hers, and then Lexi tries to go. She used to try to go to it and eat hers, but I'm like, no, you had yours.
She's like, I'm trying to get fucking high as shit. Like, back off.
Rest in peace, Lexi. You were a good girl. Also a little shit, but yeah, she just had no she had no semblance of like caution. She was just like caution to the wind. She didn't give a fuck. Like we were just comparing Nugget and Lexi earlier today because Nugget was like looking up at my computer desk, and then she was like looking around to see where she could jump, where she could jump onto to get to my desk, instead of like, because there was like a lot of stuff on my desk. So she was just like, I can't jump up there. So she kept looking around, and she was like, how do I approach this? Whereas Lexi would just like jump up here and knock everything down, and then she'd be like, all right, I'm here. Like,
It's like, I don't want you here. Get down. You're knocking shit over.
and that's exactly how it was. So like, and she would do that like on the reg. she just like jump up on my desk and knock everything over. I'm like, Lexi, come on. And then with Nugget, she's very careful, and she meticulously plots her next move. And she's like, all right, where do I jump? And then and she'll like step over everything on my desk very delicately, and you're just like, what the fuck, man? Like
I want to kick you off, but you're being so sweet about it.
especially whenever I'm working, she'll just like jump up here, and then she'll start messing with shit. Like she'll see the cursor while I'm just like working on somebody's reservation or something, and she'll be smacking the shit out of my computer. I'm like, dude, stop. And then sometimes I'll like not even think about it. I'll say something to her. I'm like, Nugget, you got to get off my desk. And then the person who I'm talking to is like, what did you just say? And I'm like, oh, I'm talking to my cat. Sorry.
Yeah, we've got a cat that does that. He's really addicted to phones. Like he'll if you're like scrolling through something, he'll come up and just like start like patting the screen. And you're like, dude, stop. And you'll like things and everything. Like, dude, cut it out.
That was a girl in a bikini. I can't like that.
Stop it. Oh, damn it.
Get him his own.
Hearted it.
Get him his get him his own little iPad. Not even, it doesn't have to be an iPad. There's like very cheap tablets that you can buy for like $50. Just get your cat a fucking tablet and a Facebook account. He's just on there all day scrolling.
Just taking selfies like all the time.
That'd be great. I need to do that. See what Nugget would do with the tablet. She's just like give her own Facebook account. She's scrolling and shit.
She's like laugh reacting to like really bad. Like people are like, but their grandma died and she's like laugh reacting to it. Like, Nugget, what the fuck?
She's like, meow. She just has no idea what you just did. It's like, who would laugh at that? A fucking cat would laugh at that.
A cat would. And she just meow meow in the comments.
It's just like a bunch of letters, like blah, 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 blah. That's gold.
Jesus.
All right. Anyway, back to the movie. We talked about cats for a while.
As we do, it's really hard not to.
I think that's the allure of the podcast. If people listen, they also want to hear us branch off and talk about other shit.
Yeah,
I mean, other podcasts do the same thing, so I'm not even like stressing about it because like there's so many podcasts that are like about one specific thing, and then they'll like veer off into something completely different. And like I listen to podcasts for that kind of diversity in conversation.
It's just letting conversations blossom naturally.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like, of course, if you're watching a movie and you're going to be reminded of other things, especially, like, other movies or, like, scenarios where, like, something could happen and you're just like, and then you start talking about something else. So, yeah, I think that's just, like, it's just the natural flow, the natural order of things.
I think it'd be pretty boring if we were just, like, only talking about the movie.
And then the creature did this, and then the creature
It'd be very short.
Yeah.
Especially with this movie, we're not like a lot of the times they get on the boat and they're like, wait, we need to go in the water. So they get in the water, like, wait, we need to get on the boat, and they just keep going back.
But there's different reasons why they're doing it. Where it's just like, all right, so like they get on the boat and then like they get back, they get out of the boat, and then they like start spreading powder to like paralyze the creature, but it only works on the fish. Which is funny, which is like this scene was funny as shit to me because like, so Kay is smoking a cigarette. She smokes half a cigarette, and then while they're powdering the water in their little canoe, she like just throws her cigarette out, and that summons the monster. Like the monster's like, the fuck? And then you just see like a bunch of fish floating, and we made a joke that the fish are just like addicted to nicotine now. So like, let me bum a Newport. Well, let me get it. Let me get one of them. Let me get one of them Virginia Slims, you smoking lady.
Oh, maybe she was smoking a Virginia Slim and she really smoked like 3/4 of it.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I didn't. And then the fish are like, let me get one of them. Let me bum a smoke. You got a square?
Please, I need a cancer stick.
Let me get one of them, please.
It's like, no, you got all my babies addicted to nicotine.
It's been 3 hours. I got a headache, please.
Please, I have got I need an oral fixation, please, for the love of God.
But yeah, after that, not a whole lot happens. Like, I think at one point the creature, he tries to, after they poison the water and with a cigarette and the powder, he ends up killing. No, don't they? Okay, no. So they're on the shore at some point. I can't remember what happens in between, but they're on the shore and they're looking for the creature because he's a little bad boy. He's a bad guy, and then they all go into the woods except for like Kay and the other guy. Can't remember his name. Z. I think his name is Z. He's one of the crew members.
Oh, Chico.
Chico. Oh, one of the other dudes. He died before this, didn't he? No. I think he got grabbed by him, and he. Oh yeah, somebody got dragged under. It was Chico's brother. Right? Yeah.
I think so.
Because one of the crew members already died whenever they were like, we'll never see the creature again. Then he shows up on the boat, and then he grabs the guy and drags him under. And then we just never see that guy again. So presumably, that guy's dead. Yeah. So, and then they go and they try to do the powder with the water and then the cigarette and then the dead fish and then they go to the shore and then they I say it and then a lot, I've noticed, but so then they go to the shore and then yep, there it goes again. They go into the wooded area or whatever the fuck it is in the Amazon. The creature comes out and tries to kidnap Kay, and then they fight off the creature and they catch the creature. Yeah, because she was gonna try to, the creature was gonna try to run off with Kay, but they fight it and catch it in this makeshift cage. Then they bring it
and
on.
it's just kind of like sitting underneath the water in the cage, just making bubbles.
Yeah, he's like, bah, bah. And then, yeah, after that, he's just in a cage, and they go down to the lower levels and keep what's his Z in charge of the boy, the bad boy, for life. Mr. Black Lagoon creature.
So when you say bad boy, I'm thinking he's like popping up with a leather jacket on.
And it's Martin Lawrence. I'm Mike Lowry. I don't think he was Mike Lowry. That was Will Smith, I think. But
I haven't watched it in a while. I don't remember their names.
I think
there's like bits and pieces I remember from it.
I think Mike is Will Smith, and I can't remember who Martin Lawrence was. Any Bad Boy fans listening, let us know in the comments.
I wonder if there are any like diehard Bad Boys fans.
I think there might be. I watched the third one in theaters and it was okay. I've never been a huge fan of Bad Boys because like I feel like they're cheesy as shit. But
yeah,
my
mom loved those movies, so I watched them a lot.
Yeah, and the jokes do not hold up. They really don't, especially in like this era where it's just like it's just not good. There's a lot of like homophobia and like it's kind of a rough watch. Um, but anyway, I digress. So, so so we see Kay waking up in her bed, and she's always wearing a different outfit. By the way, like she's in something new every time you see her.
Oh, every time.
I mean, sometimes it's the same outfit you saw earlier, but she's like always changing. There's one instance where like she's in like a bathing suit, and then all of a sudden she's in a different outfit when she just walked downstairs.
Yeah.
Like
That time like really surprised me because she was wearing like this full like almost like pantsuit, and then she walks down. She's got her hair's different. She's got this like tie on top on, and then she's got like these white bottoms on. Like, what? When did you change? Did you change while walking down the stairs?
just like it's an interesting continuity error, but it's at least funny.
Yeah.
It's like I think you likened it to Lamageddon, where that guy is always changing shirts, and that is like one of the funniest moments. Or every time he changes his shirt, we're like, it happened again.
It's every time the camera cuts away from him and it comes back, he's wearing a different shirt.
But I think that one was on purpose. But with,
100%.
With this, I don't know if that was on purpose, where she walked downstairs and was wearing something different. So it was just like a weird continuity error for a creature from the Black Lagoon. But funny nonetheless, because I like how you noticed it immediately. She's like, why did she change? And because I didn't see it at first. I was like, I wasn't really paying attention to the clothing. I was like trying to understand what they were saying in the dialogue, and you're like, why did she change her clothes? I'm like, oh shit, she did.
She is whenever they were mixing that like weird solution that just looked like fucking sperm.
Yeah. It looked like nut, and it also looked like milk at the same time.
Yeah, I think MK said it looked like condensed milk.
Yeah, it was like powdered milk.
Yeah.
Because he was putting some powder in water, and that's how you make fucking powdered milk anyway. Have you ever had powdered milk? That shit tastes awful.
I've avoided it.
Yeah. My grandma used to get it sometimes, and then she'd just be like, yeah, I mean, this is just as good. I'm like, no, it isn't. It's like, don't put that shit in my Cheerios, Grandma. I will gag. And then she would wonder why I would not eat all of my breakfast. I'm like, because you put that shit in it. That's nasty. Get that 2%. Nope. I want that good, Grandma.
Get that good. Even that vitamin D milk.
Yeah, dude. Like, some whole vitamin D milk. Get that shit. I could use to gain a pound or two. I was like 70 pounds soaking wet. Like, you could. Now I'm fucking fat, but like back in the day when I was a child, I think I was a chubby kid. But like whenever I started getting into high school and stuff, I was like 120 pounds. Like I was.
Same here.
Yeah, I was
fucking tiny.
I was a scrawny little bastard. You remember?
Yeah, we're both just twigs standing next to each other, except you were significantly taller than me. Just anyone listening, just in case I sound tall, I'm not tall.
Yeah. He kind of imagine the book where it's like the troll and the toad and they're going on adventures. I'm the lanky one and he's the shorter one.
By at least 5 feet.
I don't know about 5 feet.
No, you're what, like 5'10", 5'11"?
Yeah, I'm like 5'10", 5'11", something like that. It's,
about 5 or 6 inches.
Yeah. But after that, they put the poison, or no, they've already done the poison shit.
After the makeshift cage, they
oh yeah, she's tossing and turning, and she wakes up and she's like, "I just needed to come out and get some air." I don't know why she said it like that. But
Oh my.
he's like, I need to get some air. There's air downstairs. You didn't have to come
Yeah,
up
you can
here.
stay down there.
Yeah.
And really, she's the one who. So after she comes up there, the monster's like, oh, and
Yeah.
he's like getting all restless, and she pulls the doctor over to the side, and they're like talking, and he comes out and starts beating the shit out of the doctor, and then somebody throws a lantern from off screen, and it like just catches the creature on fire, but
Yeah.
it's just so funny.
I was laughing so fucking hard. I've said it before in an episode, but that's like one of my weaknesses for movies is when somebody throws something off screen and hits somebody in the face with it. I don't know why, but that kills me every time. And it happens so often in movies, I think they know that it's funny. Like, if I were to make a movie, that would at least happen once in every movie that I would make. Because, like,
That'd be a calling card.
yeah. It's like, all right, we need an expert for this one. And it's like, they call me. They're like, all right, I'm going to throw this box fan off screen and hit him in the head. They're like, that's bold. Let's do it. I just like chuck this box fan. And they're like,
And then the movies always like they explode the box office. It's like
by God, that son of a bitch did it.
you get best actor, best prop, best everything.
It's like, all I do is throw a box fan.
It was funny, revealing, and very dramatic. The box page goes out, and it brought me to tears.
Oh my God, that'd be
I
great.
called my mom afterwards and told her I loved her.
Oh fuck. I wrote that the creature kills Z, but he doesn't. Because you
Z.
see, Z, I think his name, Zeep. Yeah, I wrote that the creature kills him because I was writing it as I was watching, so I was like, the creature's killing him, and then attempts to kidnap Kay.
Is that the doctor that was watching him in the cage?
Oh no! So the creature did kill Z. Then he does try to kidnap Kay, and then they capture him. Okay. Oh, and then the boat scene happens, and then so one of the funniest moments in the boat scene is he gets out of the cage while they're talking. They don't notice that he's escaping the cage until like there's a loud sound. And he's like, and then you're like, he's like, and then and then the creature gets out of the cage. He picks up a lawn chair and throws it to the side after he smacks the shit out of a lantern. He's just like, psh. And then for some reason he picks up this lawn chair and just like fucking launches it to the side. He's like, get that shit out of here. And then he grabs the doctor, and then he's wrestling with him for a while, and then I guess he injures. I say I guess, but he did injure the doctor. And then, and then Kay throws a lantern at his face, and then then he dives after he is set on fire by the lantern. And then once that happens, they start looking for him again, and then nothing happens of significance after that, at least to this point, because they're looking for him in the same spot that he swam to. And then he kind of like stood up. The creature like stood up, and they like shine a spotlight on him, and he puts his hands up like they're the fucking police.
He's a shit.
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck, you got me." And then he kind of just like swims off, and then they go to where he was just at, like idiots, like no boat, no nothing, just like swam over there. Like, you know what this thing has been doing? Like, it's been killing your homies.
Yeah.
But then we get a scene right after this where pretty much everybody but Mark is like, I want to get the fuck out of here. And then Mark's like, no, we need to catch this sumbitch. And then he's like, and I'm the boss here, and nobody is leaving. And then the captain of the boat's like, yeah, well, on these waters, I'm the fucking boss. And then he pulls a knife on Mark and he holds it under his throat and he's like, I think we're all leaving. And then Mark's like, yeah, I mean, I guess we're all leaving.
He said, yeah,
So,
yeah. You're the boss.
so they start to try to leave, but like the way is barricaded. I guess after being on fire, the creature was like, you know what? Let's keep them from leaving. So he builds this like barricade of sticks and rocks, and like it just looks like it could be just driven through. But
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
just
know.
like one tree branch. I feel
Yeah,
like.
I don't know why they didn't just try.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't look very convoluted or complicated. I guess convoluted is not the word. I guess it's not a very complicated barricade. It's they could get through it, but they have to figure out how to do it. So they're doing, and this is where the solution comes into play, because or no, not yet. So they go down and try to take a picture of the monster, and Mark is like, I'm gonna go with you, Dave. And then Dave's like, no, you're not. And then they fight in the infirmary. They fight each other in the infirmary, and they're half naked. So I'm like, oh yeah, man, oh man, action. This is what's up.
Yeah, bumping uglies, and
Yeah,
by bumping uglies, I mean chest hairs.
yeah. And then they're in the infirmary, so the doctor's in there, which is funny that the doctor's the one injured. He's just like, who's gonna take care of us now? He's like, fuck you. Who's gonna take care of me? But he's like in a full body cast, and it's comical because they're like wrestling in front of him, and then like he's just like wide eyed the whole time, and then
Bullshit.
you see the creature's fin come in through the window, like right by the doctor. He's like, no, not again.
Get out of here, no.
So Dave takes like something. I can't remember what he was hitting him with, but he was just like smacking his hand. He was like with like a weapon. He's like, no, get out of here. Get out of here.
Ow, ow, ow. And he runs away.
So that happens. And then Mark's still like, I'm still coming with you. And then they finish. Mark punches him in the face. He's like, you're not going anywhere. They finish. And then so Mark starts to dive down, and then once he's like halfway underneath the water, you see Mark diving in, and you're like, God damn it, he told you no. But he's got the harpoon. I think he's got two of them.
David has one harpoon, and then Mark comes with the other one.
Yeah, and then they're swimming down. David just wants to take a picture of it, and then Mark.
No,
wants
that
to,
was earlier. This time they were trying to. I think it's after they attached a rope to the tree branch, and they're trying to pull it up with a winch, and the creature came and just tugged on the rope until it unhooked, and then that's when they're like, "Fuck this guy, we're gonna kill him." So they jumped into the water.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. And then they go down there and they try to shoot him, and then that's where they start wrestling it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So they're wrestling this monster, and then so David gets away from the monster while it's trying to wrestle him. Mark is not so lucky. Mark ends up drowning and then floats up to the top, and you can just see his dead body. And then Kay screams, and then because I think she thinks it might be David, but it's also a dead body, so that's also pretty scary. But then David comes up because you can't tell the two apart. They're the same fucking person basically.
They look identical.
And then
Same build, same face, both named Richard.
So while I was watching, I was like, who is who? I don't understand what's happening. And then Mark comes up, and then you notice it's Mark because Kay is like still interested. She's interested in him, so she wouldn't be interested in Mark, even though they probably boned at one point.
You keep Mark comes up, and then she's interested in Mark. So when she sees Mark floating up,
I said Mark each time.
This just goes to show you how hard it is to distinguish the two guys.
And then Mark comes up, and then David comes up after Mark was dead, and then David pops his head out of the water, and Kay's like, "I love you, Mark." David. It's so hard. That's what she said. It's so difficult. But I put in my notes, Mark dead, and at least I know for a fact that's true. David not dead, Mark dead.
D-E-D dead.
Yeah, D-E-D. Exactly. That's exactly what I wrote. And then they come up with this harebrained scheme to mix, because like, what was his face? The guy who always tells terrible jokes and laughs at his own jokes, but nobody else gives a fuck. He's like, yeah, Lucas. He's like, you gotta. It's not just a mosquito that you can swat away. And then David's like, what did you say about mosquitoes? And then he had this like Dr. House moment where he was like, what did you say about mosquitoes? Because we could put this solution in the harpoon gun, and we can, or not the harpoon gun, but like, oh yeah, it was the harpoon gun, right? But
it was like they, I think they remodeled the harpoon gun, or at least one of them, because they had two, and then they pressurized it with the oxygen tanks.
Yeah. They MacGyvered that shit.
Yeah.
And then they were like, we're gonna use this to blow the paralyzing powder into the face of the creature, and we're gonna make him groggy until so I can tie a rope around this barricade and knock it loose. And then so he goes down there with this milky solution that they
just
create.
milk. It's just milk.
Yeah.
The creature's just lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
Oh God, no.
Not again.
No. He goes back to his cave to go to the bathroom.
That also ties into the fact that he's a dweeb.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh no, I'm allergic to it. That's I can't have any dairy products because I'm gonna be bloated for days if I drink any drop of milk. And then he's just spraying that shit in his face.
Oh God.
He's like, oh, I'm gonna break out in hives. Oh. And then, so yeah, that shit happens, and then I don't even think it fucking fully works. He's just like, he's spraying him in the face, and he'll go away for a second, and then he'll come back and he'll be like, you got any more of that milk?
It sure do. He's like,
oh shit! I told you I'm allergic.
Oh my God.
And then they get the rope around the barricade, and then they go up and they start fucking around and trying to back the boat up. And then the guy keeps saying, or I say the guy, David keeps going, all right, back up. All right, and now back.
And then back up.
There's something else he said too, but I can't remember.
She's coming. Back.
Oh yeah, she's coming. Back. She's coming. Back.
Says it so many times.
Where is she coming back from?
And why are you pausing in between?
She's coming. Back. That's another part of that movie that like, just fucking killed me. And I'm just so fucking. I'm so happy we watched this shit. This is.
I know, dude. I've wanted to watch it for so long.
Yeah, me too. It's one of those old movies that like it's always been on my list, but I'm also like, there's other things that I want to be watching right now. It sounds weird that I've been wanting to watch it for a long time and haven't, but it's like I'm just like, but I haven't been caught up on this person's YouTube videos, so I'm gonna watch those.
You got to be in the mood to watch it, cause like I started watching like years ago. I started watching It Came from Outer Space, which is made around the same time, and I watched like maybe 20 minutes of it, but I was just not into it because I had to be in the mood to watch it.
Yeah. And that's what's great about this podcast is it kind of forces us to, not really forces us, we're doing this on our own volition. I'm not like holding a gun to Joe's head or anything, but
Yeah, not at all. Put it down.
blink twice if you're in danger. Nobody can
They
see you
can't
because it's
see
a
me.
podcast.
I'm blinking. I blinked at least 30 times. Are we doing sets of 2, or do I have to do 2 and then never blink again?
A set of 2 and then never blink again.
Oh god, my eyes are getting so dry.
But yeah, after that whole debacle in the water, the monster grabs Kay off the boat. It like first it like hangs up, or it's like chilling on the side of the boat, and it's just like watching them talk. Nobody ever notices that it is there, until it gets on the. Well, not even then. Whenever it gets
Until
up,
Kay screams.
Yeah.
Whenever they realize.
Yeah, and that happens like 3 times in this movie where Kay is the one who notices it first, but she screams, and this time the monster grabs Kay and dives underwater with her. And
He just like RKO's her into the water.
he's just like Randy Orton would be proud.
Maybe it is Randy Orton.
Oh shit! In the 50s, I think his dad wrestled back then. I don't think he used the same.
Randy Orton Sr.?
Bob Orton.
Oh, Robbie Orton.
Yeah, Bob Orton Jr. is his dad.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, so but he didn't use a cutter. He didn't use the RKO. Well, it's a cutter. But I'm a wrestling fan, if you didn't know. But so yeah, he grabs Kay, RKOs her into the water, and then yeah, so I'm proud of him for conquering his fear of women, but I'm also not proud that he had to kidnap one to do it.
Yeah.
Pretty fucked up there, creature. But
Yeah.
they go down. So they're I think David doesn't like the whole crew go down.
I think everybody but Lucas, maybe. No, yeah, Lucas goes too.
Yeah, because you see like his shot, because he's the one that's like shooting him a shit ton. At the end.
Yeah.
Because like
the creature takes Kay back to his lair.
his bachelor pad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lays her on his rock bed.
Yeah, he's just chilling. He's got like a shag carpet and shit. It's great. Yeah. So he brings her back to his pad, and then they're about to. He's probably like, "You want to watch me play 2K? I stole your joke." But,
Thank you.
had to give credit where it was due. That was definitely you. And then which fucking killed, by the way. While we were watching,
I'm bowing. You guys can see.
There's a lot of good jokes while we were watching it, but it was just
from
like,
both of us.
Yeah, there's one scene where like there's a doctor without like hair, and he was like, he said something where it was like, fuck, the joke was so good, and it was just like, he said something that was like, would you hazard to guess or some shit like that, and I was like, would you have, or he's like, would you hazard something about having hair? I can't remember the fucking joke. It was so funny. Like it's, I won't do it justice now. It was my joke, and I just ruined my own joke.
Was it whenever we first see the creature and he's bald?
No, it was the guy who had no hair. Like, it wasn't the creature. It was the guy who was like a chrome dome, but he had like little hairs like on the side. And he was like, oh, it's something about finding the rest of his hair. It was, I can't remember the actual joke, and I feel bad now that I just butchered the shit out of it. But just know that when we were watching this, it was a good one.
We had some pretty good zingers.
Yeah. So yeah, the rest of the group goes down, and then they're fighting him as a unit, and then he just gets the creature just gets lit up, dude, like RoboCop, but with like, but he's not going down. Like he's not getting torn to shreds. He's not going down, and then he just like keeps walking. And he's just like he just walks past everybody after he's been shot like 8 times, like he's 50 Cent or something, and he's just like. He's just walking past everybody, and then David's like, no, he's had enough. And he just, like, keeps walking, and then he just, like, falls into the lagoon, and then he floats down to the bottom, and that's the end of the fucking movie.
It just says, the end.
Yeah, like, very abruptly, the end. And then you're just like, that's it?
Did they make it out? Is he dead?
Yeah, like... Are they gonna? Obviously, the crew's probably gonna be fine. They're gonna go clear out that clearing. Or what the fuck am I saying? They're gonna clear out that the bush, or whatever the fuck was barricading them, put there by the monster, by the way. And then
in this synopsis, it goes between calling it a creature and then calling it an animal. It's definitely not an animal. It's a fucking creature.
it's a fucking monster.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
He looks like Danny DeVito as the penguin is what it reminds me of.
Whenever he was in the cage in the water, it made him look really tiny, and I was like, "Is that Danny DeVito?"
I was thinking that the whole time, but then that scene like really made him look like Danny DeVito, and that shit was so funny. Oh my god, he looked like Danny DeVito in what was it? Batman. I think it's Batman Returns. Or no, yeah, I think it was.
It was Batman the one Returns. With George Clooney, right?
No, that was Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin with that was it was one of the Tim Burton Batmans. It was either it wasn't Batman because that was Michael Keaton and Michael Keaton. It was a Michael Keaton Batman movie, but it was Michael Keaton and the Joker was Jack Nicholson.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then Jim Carrey was the Riddler, or was that
was Batman and Robin? No,
okay,
that was Batman Forever.
Oh,
where Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey outacted each other or tried to overact each other, and it's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, you're thinking of Batman and Robin, where I think that was another Joel Schumacher movie because I think it was Clooney still, or maybe it wasn't. I think Clooney had two.
Remember. I just remember Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, that was
all the stupid ice puns.
That was Batman and Robin with Charlize Theron. She was Poison Ivy.
Oh, it's Uma Thurman.
Oh, you're right. It was Uma Thurman. Yeah, I got this. I always get them two. I always get those two mixed up. But it was Uma.
I can see why.
It was Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy, and then George Clooney pulls out the Batman credit card. Oh God. I hope we get that movie eventually. We're gonna have to sit through Joel Schumacher's dog shit movies.
I hope we get it next, honestly.
And the randomizer, and it's Batman and Robin. What a surprise! We got it.
Hey, I'm gonna do the randomizer just for shits and gigs and see what I get. I believe it's Batman and Robin.
Speaking of the randomizer, let's go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage. And that's a fucking dated reference right there. Holy shit.
Bean?
Yeah, roll that beautiful bean footage. The Bush's baked beans, where the dog. Yeah, God. Fucking roll that beautiful bean footage was like, I don't know why that clicked in my memory. Probably because we were talking about legumes all day. Because we were like the creature of the Black Lagoon.
Like you just open a can and he's in there. You're like, fucking Christ.
And he's already eaten the beans. It's like, I hope
Get out of there.
He's like, I hope you like them unseasoned, you little bastard.
They made me thirsty. Wait, what? How?
There's juice in the can. All right, and I'm about to roll it in about a three, a two, a one, and
Batman
flower.
and Robin.
Batman and Robin. No, it's called Flower.
I think I've seen this movie.
Rebellious, quick-witted Erica Vandross is a 17-year-old firecracker living with her single mom Lori and her mom's new boyfriend Bob in LA's San Fernando Valley. When Bob's mentally unbalanced son Luke arrives from rehab to live with the family, Erica finds her domestic and personal life overwhelmed. With Luke and her sidekicks, Kala and Claudine in tow, Erica acts out by exposing a high school teacher's dark secret.
Yeah, I've seen this. I saw it a while ago though. It did terrible. Oh my god. Box office is only $327,000.
Yeah,
But maybe it's a indie movie.
yeah. I mean, it got a theatrical release though, but indie movies get theatrical releases. Indie movies don't usually do nearly as well. Tim Heidecker's in this shit.
Yeah.
Adam Scott, really? I thought that was gonna say Eric Andre. Like, dude, like it's like Tim Heidecker, Adam Scott, and then I just see Eric here, and then Edelstein. But I thought I was gonna say Eric Andre. I would have laughed so fucking hard, but no.
Or Eric Wareheim.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean that would have made sense because
I think Adam Scott is the teacher in this. I believe.
Adam Scott's. I mean, he surprises me with roles he takes because he's not just comedic. He's like he crushes it in like drama roles too. He was in a show on HBO that my girlfriend had me watch with her. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, Parks and Rec.
Yes. Yes. That's it. It's on Hulu, so.
Oh, nice. That's probably where I saw it. I think sometimes I'll go through like stints where I watch romantic comedies or dramedies, and I think that's where I saw this.
I'll have to log on with MK's Hulu password for us to watch Flower. But yeah, that's the next one. We're going to watch a movie called Flower from 2017.
Man, we just skipped like 60 years.
Yeah. We've been jumping around. We've been jumping. It's nice. We've done a few movies already from like 2019. We did The Souvenir, and we recorded. Where we? I think we've done. What was the 2019 movies we've done? It was. Let's see. In the Tall Grass. The more modern movies we did was The Souvenir, In the Tall Grass, The Guilty, and I mean, I guess if you count it as modern, the My Bloody Valentine, but I don't really.
Yeah, that's like 2007.
Yeah, it was a different. It was 2009. It was 10 years.
Oh shit.
But yeah, it was. We haven't really. We've done a few of these more modern ones, but this is 2017, so it's gonna be pretty modern here.
Drill Bit Taylor.
God, I've seen that.
I have too. I used to watch it a lot as a kid.
Yeah, it's one of those movies where it's just like it's like slapstick comedy with a lot of raunchy shit. And it's just like we used to really like that kind of stuff.
Very much a product of its time.
Oh yeah, but yeah, that was Creature from the Black Lagoon. I would definitely recommend watching it just because it's one of those classics. It's like an old time, like it's like a product of a different era, obviously, because it's the 1950s. Yeah. But it's where a lot of, I would say it's very what is the word I'm looking for? I was thinking like instrumental in.
Yeah, it's very it's a very iconic movie. It's very inspirational.
Yeah.
It's inspired.
Yeah, it's inspired a lot of different horror movies. It's inspired. I don't know. It's just cinema in general. Like
classic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fucking classic. So, and a lot of people in the comments are like, Okay, they're arguing actually, but
Actually, they're arguing.
but yeah, it's
Uh,
if I were to, so just based on, I mean, I'm gonna factor in the fact that it's old, but like I don't think it did enough to garner it to be like a high ranking movie. Like I think it's like it really didn't tell much of a story.
no,
It was kind of just like, look at this fucking weirdo. Um,
he's all scaly. He's got fins.
yeah, it was just like, oh, we're gonna go do our jobs, and then there's gonna be something that's gonna stop us from doing our jobs. It's kind of like an afternoon of like trying to be productive or creative, and then you're just like, well, what's my cat doing? Is what this felt like to me. So story wise, it's not good because there really isn't a story. Um, yeah, there's
I Yeah, I feel you on that. It's so I would probably rate it like a as far as a movie goes, it's a classic, so like you should check it out just to see where modern horror movies have come from. But as far as being a movie in itself, I would say about like a 4 out of 10.
yeah, I think that's where I'm going with. Yeah, like it's definitely less than a 5. It's definitely more than a 3 to me.
Yeah,
Um,
I would even say 3.5.
yeah, 3.54.
Yeah.
We're on board there. On the same we're on the same wavelength there. But yeah, because it doesn't really tell anything. It's just like, there's a creature, and it's like a modern day slasher almost. 'Cause, like people die in it, or not a modern day. It's almost like a classic slasher film, but it's a creature feature as well. So it's like, yeah, I mean, it's just like a classic slasher creature feature.
Yeah.
Even though they're kind of trying to throw, they try to have more storylines in slashers these days, like some lore, some background, but nobody cares about that shit.
Nah, I just want to see people die.
Yep. But anyway, Creature of the Black Lagoon. Next up, Flower. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Fear and Birthing podcast. I have been Sean,
I have been Joe.
and I think we're gonna have a guest this next time.
Yeah.
It's gonna be my girlfriend MK. So she's gonna be watching Flower with us, and we are gonna be talking about the movie as we do. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and bye.
Bye.